I can't live like this anymore. I really need you to step in right now, and I can't do it for myself. I need help. I was so nervous before taking it. Cry, like the biggest gratitude fucking cries. It just helped me lift my head above the water. I simply don't want to have to keep fighting every single day with my brain so I could breathe. Like, I'm really scared. I was like, I can't, like. Taking medication not only changed my life, it saved my life. This is an extremely long-awaited video. It feels so weird that I'm sitting down doing a talking to the camera video. I don't think I've done one of these in like over a year. I'm truly so happy to be back. So obviously, as you can tell from the title, we are doing a very big chat about mental health. And you guys, if you've been around for a while, you've obviously heard me harp on about it for ages. I'm always opening up and explaining my experience in the hopes that it can help some of you guys. Before we start, I just want to preface what we're discussing today. I've written notes so that I can try and get through this very well and articulate what I want to get across efficiently. This is a mental health video, but I want to focus today on mainly discussing anxiety, panic attacks, and medication. We're not going to be chatting about grief or ADHD in this video. We'll do those separately at some point, but I think the main thing that you guys were requesting to see and that I wanted to give you updates on was a lot about my journey with medication, journey with my anxiety, and just mental health as a whole, while giving you guys some tips and breaking a few things down so that hopefully it can help you. Before we start, number one, if you've come to this video and you are currently in a place of panic, anxiety, you're feeling lost, you're feeling overwhelmed, you are just not feeling great, you're feeling sad, you're feeling depressed, you're feeling lonely, just before we even get into anything, I want you to take a big breath and just want to acknowledge, from someone that has been through it and goes through it and knows all the feelings that you're currently going through, I want you to know that you are not alone. You are not the only one that is feeling this. You are not crazy. You are not insane for feeling how you feel. All of your feelings are so welcome. My goal in this video is to help you feel like you can get through this, because you can, and you will tackle whatever you're going through right now. And just to remind you that everything in life is temporary, and those scary feelings and emotions you're having, they are just feelings and emotions. And they will come and they will go, just like everything in life. So before we start, I just want you to try and take this time for yourself to get some help that you deserve, and to not feel ashamed of seeking out this information, and to not feel ashamed in yourself for feeling how you're feeling right now. My biggest passion, my biggest goal in this life, and the reason why I feel like I struggle so much with my mental health at times, is to hopefully be able to be a voice to break down the stigma around it being embarrassing or shameful that you struggle with your mental health. There is nothing normal about the life that we live. Life is crazy, life is hard, life is painful and heartbreaking. While it is incredibly like beautiful and enriching and glorious and intoxicating, there is things that we all struggle with in life, and it's always how you overcome those challenges and those scary feelings and emotions that can really, you know, set you up for a future that is just all of the wonderful things in life. We will never go through life without feeling pain and suffering, but we can use some tools to help us enjoy every single day and tackle it more positively. And also, I just want to acknowledge that you deserve to feel good. It is every human's right on this earth to feel good and find ways that help them. So I'm going to be detailing with you how I did that, and I just want to give you a big hug through the screen, and you are going to be okay. And yeah, I just wanted to say that because I know when I was going through the thick of my mental health struggles, and at the beginning I thought I was going crazy. I thought I was the only human alive that experienced these emotions, and then I realized, wow, no one actually talks about feeling down or anxious or sad, so a lot of people must be suffering in silence. Anyways, I've already started waffling. I'm gonna follow my notes now. If you've been around for a while, you already know all my backstory, but for anyone that is new, I want to explain my backstory with my mental health struggles, because I often find hearing someone else's story help you relate to your own. My mental health struggles really began, I would say, unbeknowingly to me in school, I was bullied badly in high school, and I think that I formed at quite a, like, in my teenage years, quite a deep social anxiety. I used to find it hard going places alone, being alone. At the time I didn't know that it was anxiety that I was experiencing, and so it kind of began there. The time that it then formed really bad was after I had a head injury. I got a really bad concussion, which sent my whole body into a state of complete shock and overwhelm, burnout, panic. I started experiencing anxiety for the first time, panic attacks for the first time, disassociation. I had every single gut problem under the sun, and it sent me into a really scary 2 years of feeling completely disassociated from myself. And every single morning I would wake up with what I describe the feeling of that someone, it just felt like someone was standing on my throat constantly. I would wake up and go to sleep every day feeling like I couldn't breathe, and I genuinely believed I was gonna die at some point because I would stop breathing. That's how bad my anxiety got, and it was a really horrible, long 2.5 years that it was like chronically bad. At the time, actually, to be honest, I didn't know what was happening to me. I thought I was losing my mind. I didn't realize a lot of it was linked to the concussion, and this is what head injuries can do. From the anxiety, a bad depression formed because I just felt like all the life was taken from me. I was the happiest, most bubbliest, very positive person my whole life growing up, and this took almost everything from me, and I fought every single day that I woke up to keep myself, number one, alive, and to somehow find my sparkle again and find my way back to myself again. And it was definitely the hardest experience and period of my life. I feel like it, you know, in saying that though, it showed me how strong I was and that I could get through it, and you also will get through what you're going through. Since that point, I healed a lot through the things I'm going to talk to you about. A lot of it was healing my gut health, which we'll discuss, and also taking a massive step back from the life that I was leading. After that 2 years, I had about like a 1 to 2 year stint of feeling really good again. I wasn't getting these crazy panic attacks. I was anxious here and there, but I could handle it a lot better. And then skip to last year, I had a really toxic relationship with someone, and then the breakup was soul destroying. And I also lost my dad, which added to it, but that set me off really badly again, and essentially sent me on my path of seeking out help through the form of medication, which is what we're going to chat about as well later on. And I'm going to talk to you about how it essentially changed my life, and also these other tools and tips. I want to preface, which you always have to, I am not a doctor. I am not a professional in this field. I explaining lived experiences that I've had in the hopes that maybe something sparks a chord with you that might work for your life. The thing with mental health and health in general is that nothing is one size fits all. Medication or things that might work on you will not work on me, and vice versa. So this is not to encourage you to do the same thing I did. Mainly on the medication front, you need to consult a doctor and someone that is trained in this. And I know people say that, but like I really do mean that. I wrote a question box asking you guys what the main things were that you wanted to know about mental health, anxiety, blah blah blah, and medication. So the first question was, I've started having panic attacks out of nowhere. It's so scary in the moment. Any tips? Panic attacks, if you have had one, you would know they are the scariest thing that can possibly happen to you. You feel like you're gonna die, you can't breathe, everything crumbles down around you. I'm so sorry that you're experiencing that. It is a normal human response to stress, overwhelm, and simply your body is going into fight or flight. Essentially, what I would recommend, number one, is understanding what a panic attack is. That really helped me a lot, understanding that it was nothing bad was happening. It was my body's way of trying to protect me from a perceived threat. So essentially panic attacks are when it's like from the caveman days, when you'd be out hunting and you see a massive lion and it starts chasing towards you. Your body goes into fight or flight so you can run as fast as you can, and you sweat, and it dates back to that, and it's something that lives in our bodies. It can be set off by numerous amounts of things, but the way that I'm going to step you through what I do when I'm having a panic attack or I'm in a panic state is, of course, number one is get your breathing right. So a few breathing techniques that, and I know like I used to hate when people would say to me like just breathe, like figure out breathing. It's the only way out, is you need to take control of your breath, because essentially when you're having a panic attack, it's and it's all coming from your chest. Like, the more you keep breathing from your chest, the worse it's going to become. So when I'm even having just general anxiety, the first thing I do is focus on getting my breathing into my abdomen and into my stomach. And the best way I do this is breathing in through my nose, so my stomach expands. You don't want shallow, short breaths up in the top of your chest. You want them to go down into your stomach. So breathing into your belly and holding. And then focusing on getting your exhale to be longer than your inhale. So one good breathing technique is in for 4, hold, and then out for 6. Or 8. You don't have to be technical with it, just focusing on getting your out breaths to be longer than your in breaths are gonna help slow your heart rate down. When you're in that state of panic attack, focusing on just slowing down your breathing and calming your mind. So when it's happening, and I know like this all sounds so like, well duh, but it's like this is all you can do unless you have someone with you talking you through it. And also if you're with someone that's having a panic attack, this is how you can talk them through it. You're breathing and you're reminding yourself, this will pass, this will end. I am in a panic attack. This is natural and normal what is happening. I'm just in a panic attack and I'm gonna be okay, and breathe and breathe and breathe. If you are near someone that can help you, it's someone that you trust and you can be with, ask them just to help you. I'm feeling really panicked. I'm overwhelmed. Can you just sit with me and help me breathe through it? Like when I'm having a panic attack, I need someone there helping me and ushering me through it, and just like a hand on the back. You're okay. You're okay. Just breathe. And it's in these moments when the panic attacks come over that you need your strongest mental strength to pull you through. Obviously there's other things that can help during bad panic attacks. One is medication, which is something like Valium, which is a muscle relaxant. You don't ever want to rely on having medication to just stop you and sedate you from a panic attack. It's not a long-term way of fixing the problem, but you need to do what you need to do if you are suffering these a lot. And also I found sometimes when I got Valium prescribed to me, it was first just for flights, because I would get panic attacks on flights. So if that's something that would happen to you, there's sometimes places and times where you don't have anyone to support you, and I would always just have a Valium, a very low dosage, as a backup support. And sometimes it would just calm me knowing that, okay, worst case scenario, I freak the fuck out, I have something that can like physically make my body just chill. That is my last resort backup. But I'm gonna be so real with you guys in this video that is something that I have had to help me through those moments. Other things you can get is ashwagandha tablets, reishi, different herbal extracts, lavender, different things that like actually really help your body calm down and relax. Chamomile tea, amazing. So I want to talk about outside of the actual panic attack itself happening, we need to look at a few things. So like you've said, you've started having panic attacks out of nowhere. This is like definitely the scariest thing, and this is sometimes just how they happen. You'll be living a normal life and you're feeling, I feel fine, maybe I'm a bit stressed, but I'm now all of a sudden having these panic attacks. Having the panic attacks forms the anxiety and you just feel unstable. So we need to look at what is happening currently in your life. These are my long-term tips for this. My first point of call, say, okay, you need to look at one, your whole life in a scale, how you're living. So the first thing I would do, and this is what ended up helping me the most long-term, was getting a good nutritionist that could go through my bloods with me. Now, I know a lot of people say like, yeah, I know, but that costs a lot of money and blah, this, that. There is no price you can ever put on your health. And like, God, it makes me feel a little bit sick, the amount of money I've spent over the years on my health, on trying to treat and fix my anxiety. But one thing I do not regret spending money on was doing testing on my bloods, because this showed me so much, and my hormones, and like specifically my gut health. Because what you guys need to remember is your gut is your second brain. Like all of your mental health comes from the health of your gut. I highly recommend you researching more about that and looking into that, because I am not a trained professional. I don't know how to speak about it like eloquently, but I have an amazing nutritionist that helped me so much at the time I really needed it. And she did all these tests. She did gut microbiome testing, hormone testing, general bloods, because body could just be short-circuiting from not having enough of one type of vitamin, or like you could be deficient in something. I highly recommend getting your bloods tested, because for me, when my issues were happening, my hormones were completely out of whack. I had leaky gut. I had so many gut problems from my head knock through my whole body off. So fixing all of those levels over time with the right supplementation and assistance really helped. You need to then be looking at the stress in your life. Stress is the #1 killer. It is the one thing that creeps up, and sometimes we get so used to living in a state of stress that we don't even know, we don't even like see it. We can't catch it creeping up because we're just so used to being stressed all the time. Like, that is not a normal way for us to live. What areas in your life are stressing you out? Being so real with yourself about what needs to be cleared out, where you need to be making more time for yourself, who needs to be cleared out, and finding your own boundaries with your life and managing your stress. There could also be emotional buildups. Kind of just jotted down like conversations that need to be had. When I hit my panic states, it's when I've been suppressing my emotions and feelings, and my body knows that things need to come up, or I need to have a big cry, or I need to accept something or process something or have that conversation. It could be things that you're just avoiding in your life, and your body is forcing you to be like, we need to review this, we need to look at this. The hard thing about taking care of your mental health is that it's not daisies and roses and like a skip in the park, because the thing is, it takes so much self-reflection and so much deep honesty to yourself of being like, these are the areas in my life that I'm actually causing this for myself. I'm making this worse for myself. If I'm entering in toxic relationships, if I'm partying too much, putting the wrong things in my body, I'm not treating my body with love and care, your body will retaliate. And you have to see panic attacks and those things as your body giving you warning signals to try and get some extra love and assistance. So they're just my few top line things that you can look into. Those work the same for general anxiety. My main tips on managing my own anxiety in my life. Toolkit has been growing over the years, and it's changed and it's evolved, but the main things that I do, let's say for example, I have been feeling fine and all of a sudden my anxiety hits me, and it stays for like, sometimes when my anxiety hits me, it could be there for a day. Or in other cases, it could be there for 3 days. Or in other cases, it can stay for a few months. So I never really know which one I'm gonna get. So what I do immediately when I get the tight chest feeling is, the first point of call I do is I eliminate all caffeine in my diet, which is really sad because you guys know I love matcha and I have a matcha business, but sadly, she's the first thing that has to go, because why on earth am I gonna rev myself even more when my body is like clearly going, I need a minute, I need a moment, like please chill the fuck out. So if you're feeling anxious, don't drink coffee or matcha or any caffeine. Stick to herbal teas. Decaf coffee is always a great alternative. It doesn't have to be forever. Just what I do is I give myself, at first I do a day off and then a day on and then a day off and then a day on, only if I'm feeling okay on the day off. And then I try and increase the spaces, because coming off coffee like that or caffeine like overnight, you'll get really bad migraines, mood swings, you'll feel a little bit like shit. Either just go cold turkey, which is great, or you can do it in that kind of formula, which is what I do now. So yesterday I didn't, because my anxiety has been flaring again. Yesterday I didn't have a matcha. This morning I was feeling in a good mind state and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna have one. I had one immediately, tight chest, didn't feel good, so that was my, okay, we're gonna have to just stretch this out a bit more, decaf coffee for a few days. You need to bring your system back to a state of calm. And when you have so much caffeine every single day over and over again, essentially it raises your cortisol levels, which is your stress levels, which increases your fight or flight. So you just wanna be doing soothing, calming things to bring that down. The second thing that I then do is look at my exercise. Number one, am I exercising? Because that can be making you anxious. Or number two, am I over exercising and am I doing it exercises that are really high intensity and raising my cortisol levels more? So during the periods where I'm feeling anxious, going for a walk every single day, getting outside, trying to be in the sun, sitting on the grass, in nature, helps so much. Or just doing low impact like Pilates, yoga, things that you're just breathing, moving and taking it chill. Not doing my spin classes, which I love, or going for crazy runs, or doing really hectic weights and like stressing out my body too much. That will help bring calm. I then look at how I'm eating. Am I eating enough protein? Am I getting greens? Am I, you know, eating lots of junk food or sweeteners or sugar? So sad about this one, because sugar sadly is the main issue that can be inflaming your anxiety. And I know myself personally is when I'm anxious, I want to fucking eat everything under the sun, which is so opposite. Most people are like, I don't want to eat anything, I have no hunger. I'm like so jealous of those people, because when I'm anxious, I want sweet treats, I want banana bread, cinnamon buns, I want carby food, I want everything that's gonna fill the void, and I can be such an emotional eater. So I just make sure I'm being really aware of not having really sugary drinks or things that are gonna fuck up my gut health even more, and like no diet Coke and soft drinks that are full of just like bad chemicals. I want to be having really gut loving foods. The next thing I do is, along with caffeine that I cut out, I think about my alcohol consumption, because look, as much as I love a few cheeky margs when I'm feeling stressed and anxious, it can make things a lot worse, throw off your levels, so it's a no-brainer. Then speak to my therapist. I tell the people in my life. That is actually probably the first thing that I do before I do anything, is I just let my mom know, I let my friends know who are close to me, hey, I've not been feeling really good these past few days, I'm feeling really anxious again, I just need a bit extra support. Literally, I don't even know, I probably annoy them so much, but when I'm feeling anxious, even just telling someone I'm feeling anxious helps me. Never underestimate the power of being seen, being heard, and someone just telling you you're gonna be okay, like this is gonna pass, you're gonna get through this. Making sure I'm getting enough sleep, so 8 hours for me minimum is like, that's what I've just learned in my life, like that I need at least 8 hours of sleep. I need to be off my phone before bed, and reading before bed really helps me not wake up with that panic attack, really high cortisol levels, because that's when my anxiety normally is worst, is like first thing in the morning, because that is when your cortisol levels are the highest. So reading before bed, getting off your phone, being really intentional with what you are consuming on your phone, all of those things that we know, they help a lot. And it takes a lot of willpower and self-restraint to you know, follow through with these things, but I promise they help. Oh, the no-brainers here that I talk about all the time: meditation and journaling. We'll go through them. Journaling, to get all your thoughts and feelings out. That is your safe place. You can say anything. You can say, fuck this fucking, I'm gonna rip this head off, I'm gonna, like, you can say the most aggressive, crazy things. No one's gonna read that. You keep that in your own private place. That is for you to have a rant to, and you best believe it. Sometimes I just scribble and I want to rip everything up, and you can write things and rip it up and burn it if you so wish. It's gonna help you feel better. But a journal is truly life-changing. And of course, meditation is the best practice of clearing your mind and focusing on your breath and regulating your system. And having a little routine, like your self-care routine, is gonna help majorly with all of this. Really just can't explain though. I know I said like getting outside and walking, but truly like getting the fuck off your screen and into the real world by nature, just breathing. If I'm really anxious, I'm having a bad day, it is a non-negotiable that in the morning and in the afternoon, I just step outside and get some air. Like, going for a 30-minute walk can heal so many things. It might not take away your anxiety, but it can just give you a bit of calm, and it can burn off some of that like anxiety that's brewing and like all the high stress and tension moving around. It can just burn off some of that energy in a productive, healthy way. Let's get to the good part. Go through all of that first before we talk about me and my journey with medication. I'm like literally sweating. Oh, I'm so nervous for the next part. I have held off speaking about this for a really long time for a few reasons. To be completely honest, I felt really ashamed of myself, and I felt like a failure when I had to turn to medication, or when I finally like let myself be open to medication. It took me a while. I also, before I spoke about it, I wanted to make sure this was something that I had experienced for long enough and I could give my honest opinion and advice, because it is a really serious thing. And I also wish that I had have seen a video like this earlier of someone talking about their experience, because I realized that I could have been out of a lot of my pain a lot sooner than I was as well. So backstory is, my belief my whole life was very holistic when it came to mental health. I always thought I could fix it myself. Ultimately, because I was anxious, I always felt like taking something would make me more anxious. Like, I just couldn't wrap my head around how it worked. I didn't understand it enough, and I wasn't open to exploring it. I always thought, I'm not that unwell. Like, that's for people that are like medication could never be for me. That's for crazies. Like, that's for, I already had my own taboos and judgment about it. And it was only through conversations with friends of mine that were on medication and conversations with friends of mine that had been through the same mental health struggles as me that helped me just be like, I actually deserve to get some help. Like I'm suffering so badly, like I can't live like this anymore. And I think I had done at this point years of self-help, pushing myself through another day and another day, and it hit a point after the breakup mainly. I'd been feeling fine. I hadn't been having the anxiety for a year and a half at least at this point, and I felt like I got my life back and I thought I had overcome it. And then I obviously got extremely triggered of loss and heartbreak and pain. But like around June, July last year, it came back. My anxiety like came back tenfold how it used to be. This tightness on my chest, complete dissociation. I was so depressed. I just cried all the time. I felt lifeless and really hopeless. Honestly, I was just like, I'm not myself anymore. Like, where have I gone? Like, where's Cardia gone? I had no, yeah, it was just a really, really, really sad time. And I was so exhausted. Like, I remember it peaked for me when I went back to Australia at the end of last year, and I was home and I was so excited to be home. But it followed, like every day I still woke up with the anxiety. I was by the beach, I was with Frankie, with my dog, I was with my family, I was with my friends, and I just felt like I could not breathe. I was so panicked, and the issue that what happens to me when I'm anxious is it just completely debilitates me. I like immediately just am like, what is fucking wrong with me? It starts to make me so angry because I'm like, I need you just to go away. I just need to get rid of you. And it got to the point where in Australia, it hit definitely the scariest moment for me that I was like, I can't live like this anymore. Like, I don't want to do this anymore. I simply don't want to have to keep fighting every single day with my brain, and I don't want to do this anymore. Oh, it makes me so emotional because it's really sad. It's so sad reflecting on that, and then I got to that point when it's like I fight with my head because I'm so blessed. I live such an incredible life, and it wasn't through lack of me trying so hard to get myself on track. Like, I tried so hard, and it made me feel really guilty that there's no reason for me to be so sad and upset and struggle as much as I did when my life, like, I loved my life. I feel so grateful for all my blessings, but I just couldn't, like, I couldn't bear doing it anymore. I was like, and it's not that I was like, I'm suicidal, I want to kill myself, like nothing like that. It was just that I knew that if I didn't fix what was going on, that's where it would go. I was like, I can't live like this. Like, I'm exhausted. I like have nothing left in me. And I just woke up one day and I sat my mum down and I told her, like, I can't, like, I'm really scared. I was like, I can't, like, I did not think I'd start sobbing. I can't go another day like this because I'm really scared of, if I don't get help with this now, like, this is really urgent, I will, like I will fall into a really, really, really bad depressed place. And I just I said to her, I really need you to step in right now, and I can't do it for myself. I need help really badly. And so she was like, okay, what can we do? And I was like, I think I need to go somewhere. I need to go away, and I need to get medical professional help. Like, my brain was going to the most extremes. So I was like, we started looking into like mental health retreats, places I could go. I just felt like I needed to get away from the whole world and find like some healing and some peace from what was happening. We started looking into like mental health hospitals. I was only in Australia for 2 months at this point, and I was like, this is my time to get it sorted. And so we looked into some places. They were all like crazy expensive, like rehab clinics and all this stuff. And I was like, I don't know if I'm that bad, like, to go away for like 2 months. I think that'll make me worse. Like, I'm like not actively, like, I'm not suicidal. I'm just really anxious and I'm really overwhelmed, and life is scaring the fuck out of me. So I ended up just booking into a 1-week retreat that was out in nature, no phone, just doing yoga and meditation and hikes and being in nature. I had hoped that just taking a week for myself to be away from everything would help calm me down, and it wasn't like a mental health retreat, it was just a retreat like for people to go and have time out in the world in a really beautiful spot. Maybe some of you guys remember when I went there and I posted it and stuff, but naively I thought this would fix all of my problems, and actually it pushed me even closer to like finally considering medication, because it was the hardest week ever. I think being alone at that time was maybe not actually the best option for me. It actually faced me more with this thing of going, Cardi, it is not from your lack of trying to fix this and fix yourself and heal from this. It's something is chemically wrong in your brain. Like, I genuinely just felt like a penny dropped for me, and I was like, I don't receive dopamine or serotonin how like I used to. Like, I can actually at this point feel it because I am happy in this moment, but I can't feel anything. Like, it was going in these crazy, I don't know, I don't even know. I was just like, there is levels wrong in my brain. Like, my levels are completely off. My happy receptors and all these things, I'm like, they're not matching up. So when I left the retreat, I spoke to one of my friends who's super open about this as well, and I said, look, on medication, what's helped you in the past with your depression, anxiety? Like, I really need help. She told me what she'd done, and I thought, find a GP that specializes in mental health because I want the right advice, whether it be like ADHD stuff or anxiety. I just need to talk to someone and get advice. So I was gonna look into first at that point the ADHD stuff again, but to do that in Australia or to do it here, it's like the longest process. It was gonna take forever to talk to a psychiatrist and do all that, and I was like, I just need help right now. And a few other people I'd spoken to actually ended up admitting to me, you know, I've actually been on medication before, and I was like, I'm like all these people and I've never heard a thing about it. And it's not, that showed me, I was like, fuck, like this is not an openly spoken about thing. Like, why is no one talking about it as much, or at least not in my circle of people? So they all told me what they were on. The best way to describe it that my friend said to me, I was like, what did it actually help you with? She goes, it just helped me lift my head above the water so I could breathe. So I could just get my head above the water and breathe and get through it. And I was like, yeah, that is what I need. So I couldn't get into any like specialists or anything, but I found a doctor's clinic I used to go to in Oz, and I just went under all of their profiles and it says what they specialized in, and I just found someone that specialized in the things that I needed, and her main thing was mental health, female health, all that. And it was as simple as I went for my appointment, I told her what was going on. I said, my anxiety is chronic, my low moods are really impacted by it. I said, it's not that I feel like I need an antidepressant. I said, I just need something to help with the physical symptoms of my anxiety. So she prescribed me, went through a few options of different ones, and she said, this is the most gentle one. I'm gonna put you on the lowest dose and just see how you go. She said, start for 6 months and just start and see how it goes. And I don't know if I want to say exactly what I'm on, because I don't want you to like feel like to be swayed to a certain medication, because this is just what worked for me. Essentially, I'm taking an SSRI. So they are just like a mood stabilizer, I guess antidepressant, can be used for all of that stuff, anxiety mainly. But she prescribed me 10 milligrams of this certain tablet. I was so nervous before taking it. I didn't know what to expect, but I was, as I said, I was just at my point of being like, I need to give this a shot. And so I tried it. You guys had asked me in the same thing, just a few questions about the medication now that I've said the backstory. So can you please talk about medication, how it helped you, and the side effects? So firstly, I want to go through the side effects. All I noticed at the beginning was I definitely had to take it every morning with food. I would feel a bit nauseous and a bit headachy, and like I remember the first week just feeling a bit like bodily uneasy. I don't even remember at this point. I just remember the first week being a little bit weird. First week and a little. I just knew I had to eat it with food, otherwise I'd feel a bit nauseous. How did it help me? Okay, so I love this because I not only got to experience it firsthand, but since I was with my friends in Australia, they got to experience it secondhand, and seeing their reaction to me was like, wow. So I think it took about 2 weeks. A week and a bit. It helped me really fast, which I was shocked about. I all of a sudden woke up one day and I was like, oh my God. I was like, what the fuck is going on? I feel at peace. I feel so fucking happy. I couldn't explain to you. It was like I was feeling happiness again for the first time. Like, I just woke, I honestly almost felt like I was like actually on a drug, like taking fucking full-on happy pill. I call it my happy pill because I felt so happy. I felt at ease with the world again. I felt like, oh my God, something in my brain just went, something that was down here just went whoop, actually, and it went past it. I just felt like, holy shit, like holy shit. And as each day went on, I had a spring in my step. I was like, my friends just were like, you're back. Like, oh my God, it's you. It wasn't that it was like some other version of me. I was just myself again. I feel like I just stepped into my body again after like years of being away. It was, I can never explain. I used to just cry, like the biggest gratitude fucking cries I've ever had. I literally, oh my God, I just remember like, it makes me cry still because I'm like, I never thought I would get my life back. I thought I would struggle forever. And it just literally, I was like, I got a second chance at my life again. Like, I sound so dramatic, but it really is. Like when you're at that point and then you get something that actually helps after trying so many things for so long, I just was like, I feel like hopeful again, and seeing my friends' relief, being like, oh my God, like this is amazing. Like you sound more positive, you look more positive. I just felt a lot like, and I've said that, but like, oh my God, the feeling after starting taking medication, it was the happiest few months of my life. Slight repositioning, I'm sorry, my SD card, it just said it was full. But essentially, long story short, it helped me profoundly. My tight, anxious feelings went away. My sad, low feelings lifted. The thing is though to note is that it's not like a magic pill. I was still doing the work, I was still doing my journaling, exercising, taking care of myself more than ever. This just, exactly as my friend said, helped me lift my head above the water and stop feeling like I was drowning. It gave me a new lease on life. It gave me enjoyment again. I just honestly just felt like I could handle life again without this scary overwhelm and like freaky associating feelings again. It doesn't mean that it completely went away. Like I'm still on medication now. I've noticed that my past week like few weeks I've been really anxious again, but I've also been going through a lot of life changes, a lot of hardships, a lot of pain, a lot of loss, like again, like just own personal life issues, so that can really impact it. It's not a magic pill. So I'm now looking at, you know, going back to my toolkit, managing all of that. In terms of dosage, I obviously, as I mentioned, I'm on the lowest amount, which is 10 milligrams. I feel good. Noticing that dip again definitely scares me a little bit, and I don't want my first reaction to be like, oh, maybe I need to up my dosage. But given I am on such a small dosage, if this prolongs, I'm going to consider maybe getting some extra assistance, just because I do get really bad seasonal depression. I got it last year and the year before. I get really sad around this time of year in London, just getting no sun, and it can just be really hard for me to like get my levels up enough. So I'm taking vitamin D tablets, and I'm just seeing and assessing how I go before I make any changes to my dosage, but I might consider it. And I'm definitely going to see this through for 12 months. I'm going to do it for a full 12 months and then see if I still feel like I need to be on medication. And of course, if I decide to come off medication, which right now I don't think I would because it helps me so much. But if I do, of course, consulting the doctor and coming off it in a proper way, because if you do just come off it straight away, I think it's not very good. Just to answer some last quick questions, do you feel like yourself still? I'm scared to take them if it makes me emotionless. I definitely still have my emotions, but there was a period there where I didn't cry for like a really long time, like a few months, but I actually kind of loved it. I felt a little bit more like unfazed. Like I was like, nothing made me cry, and I was like, maybe I should cry. But I also had like a whole 12 months before that crying nearly every day or every second day, so I kind of loved feeling more emotionally stable. But I definitely still felt like myself. If anything, I felt more like myself. Have you experienced weight gain from the medication? It says it can change your metabolism. Personally, I haven't experienced that. My weight, eating, everything is still the same. like it didn't do that much for me. I guess just different medications can definitely do different things. So yeah, you'll have to explore that one. A lot of the comments and questions that I got was that you were all really scared of the stigma and you were scared to admit that you needed the extra help, and I was there. That was me. And all I can say is that taking medication not only changed my life, it saved my life, because if my mental health kept declining the way that it was, it wouldn't have looked very pretty. It wouldn't have looked very pretty. I would have been living a very, very, very sad life, and this has just helped me honestly balance out the chemicals in my brain, because something was not right despite me trying so hard. And there's nothing wrong with needing a bit of extra assistance. It doesn't have to be forever, and that's what I tell myself. I'm like, you are still you just needed a bit of extra help, and I am so fucking glad that I reached out for it and I did it, and I have something that helps to support me in this life. Like, it helps my days be better and feel better, and I feel more like myself. It doesn't mean I neglect anything else. I still have to take extreme care of my mental health, because I just have to accept in this life I am extremely fragile and my brain works differently, I guess, to the normal brain. But yeah, that is my whole long story about it. I hope that this covered quite a bit for you and it might help you on your journey as well. It's never the first point of call. I want to say that a lot of your anxiety or mental health struggles can be fixed through some hard work, support, therapy, etc. But if you really do need that support and that push to feel comfortable to reach out and get help with medication from a professional, then I can't believe I'm saying it, but yeah, I'm all for it. I was so against it for so long, but it has helped me so much. I'm so grateful for it, that it really can save a lot of lives if it is administered correctly. So that is all. I've spoken for so long now, but I love you guys lots. Thank you for watching this. Thank you for all the support as well over the past few weeks since I've been back on YouTube. I'm so happy just to be back and talking about this stuff. I'm so insanely passionate about it. I'm so insanely passionate about helping people feel okay in their heads, and that this is completely normal and you are not alone, and I am here, and there are so many people that love and care for you, and sometimes we just need those gentle reminders. Like, if you need more things clarified, I reply to all my comments. We can discuss some things. You guys can help each other in the comments. Like, I want you to connect with each other, and yeah, we're all a little family, so you can support each other too. And yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. Mwah! I love you a lot, and I'm also gonna go get my nails done because this is tragic, and I'm sorry if you've noticed that in the video. But yeah, that's all. See you guys next week. Mwah!